Let's look at the reality of a successful digital media operator. You might have a massive podcast and a highly engaged audience, but behind the scenes, you are trapped in a relentless grind. Every piece of content requires hours of manually clipping audio, painstakingly writing transcriptions, drafting detailed descriptions, and updating your websites. Getting a machine to do this heavy lifting usually means hiring a custom software agency, but building a ground-up platform with proper SEO and dynamic workflows costs tens of thousands of dollars. It demands a massive, expensive engineering team that an independent creator simply cannot afford. Even if you find the budget, you hit the translation barrier. As a domain expert, you know what a good article for your audience looks like, but explaining that highly specialized nuance to an external developer results in months of back-and-forth revisions and lost context. The traditional software development model is broken for independent business owners. It traps them in repetitive labor and locks them out of true digital scale. Meanwhile, the internet is screaming about the artificial intelligence boom. Every day brings a new headline promising that AI coding tools are going to automate everything and make software development completely effortless. But if you've spent the last 8 years building a media brand instead of writing code, those headlines are intimidating. Imposter syndrome kicks in, creating a psychological wall that convinces non-technical professionals that developer tools like GitHub or Replit are strictly off-limits to them. The real divide today exists between those who wait for a simpler interface and those who start testing the messy tools available right now. Our media operator finally pushed past the hesitation. He downloaded an environment called Replit, paid a $20 subscription, and started typing out his business problems in plain English. 3 hours later, without writing a single line of traditional code, he had a functional application running on the web. This chart shows the scaling trap of early AI prototyping. As he asked the AI to add features, the application's complexity grew. Because the system charged per action, his costs spiked exponentially, burning through $500 in 4 days. To escape this burning cash pile, he needed to migrate his project to a cheaper, more scalable environment like Claude Code. But as a non-technical founder, he had no idea how to move a codebase, so he brought in an orchestrator AI. Gemini acted as his virtual CTO, providing the exact instructions to migrate his entire architecture onto a scalable permanent server. Artificial intelligence is no longer restricted to just writing scripts. It is actively guiding non-technical users through complex system architecture and server deployment. Armed with Claude Code and a scalable setup, he spent the next 5 days building out a fully autonomous digital media engine, an infrastructure that historically required an entire production department to run. Here is the sequence. Step 1. The system detects when a new podcast goes live and automatically pulls the raw audio file. Step 2. That isolated audio is routed to a transcription service, converting 2 hours of conversation into raw text data. Step 3. Claude reads that raw text. It identifies the guest, extracts core themes, and autonomously writes an SEO-optimized article. Step 4. The system categorizes the piece and pushes it live to a custom dynamic website. Zero human intervention required. He even bypassed the logistics of a physical photo shoot. He used an AI image generator, trained on a batch of his older photos, to create crisp, professional, branded headshots for the entire platform. A multi-stage automation engine that used to demand 20 employees was built by one non-coder in 5 days, and it runs for roughly $120 a month. If your only experience with AI is a conversational chatbot, you are looking at a tiny fraction of its actual capability. Basic Q&A interfaces mask the massive architectural power sitting right underneath the surface. This shift creates a new kind of leverage. As AI lowers the technical barrier to entry, the bottleneck moves from the ability to write code to the depth of the user's industry knowledge. A media operator, a lawyer, or an accountant instinctively understands the granular details of their daily workflows. They know the exact inputs that matter, the processing logic required, and the precise output their clients demand. Because AI eliminates the technical middleman, those experts can directly instruct the machine. You no longer lose nuance in translation. You preserve 100% of your specialized, hard-earned context. High-leverage work now favors those who can map out their own business mechanics, leaving the execution of the code to the machine. So ignore the philosophical debates about permanent underclasses and tech utopias. Those arguments are distractions from your immediate, practical reality. The critical operational skill you need to develop right now is systems thinking. Systems thinking means looking at your complex daily work and breaking it down into a sequence of fundamental inputs and outputs. Once you identify the mechanical steps of your job, you can map them digitally. Get past the hesitation to spend $20 or $30 a month on these tools. Pay for the subscription. Sit down and invest the time required to build just one automated system for yourself. The technological window to transition from a manual operator to a high-leverage system architect is wide open, but it will not wait for you to feel ready.